Hey, welcome. It's Kay McDonald, and welcome to the Power of Charms interview series. I love to do this because I get to talk to all these interesting people, mostly women, because women love charms, and I have a charm business, so we tie it all together. But today I have somebody who's really a dynamo and has just written a book, and she's doing consulting for businesses with this really amazing new idea and shift in the workplace. Her book's called The Corporate Hippie, and this is Kim Adams. And Kim, tell us a little bit about your background and then what led you into this fabulous book, to write this book.
Absolutely. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Kay. Thank you for having me. And, the fact that you're tying your passion into your business, right? I think that's the way all of us are kind of going.
Yeah.
My background, I've always been in sales. I've been a salesperson my whole life. I started out as an individual contributor and just fell in love with the ability to kind of be autonomous, to be an entrepreneur and running my own business, right, inside a company. And over the course of the years, I was able to really start to understand I was doing something different in corporate America. I was listening to my intuition. I was making decisions based on like a feeling in my body. I was making decisions on hiring teams on just that gut feeling, right? Of course, having some certain information, but I really was tapping into my intuition, the universe, and that God-given information that we all have access to. And that's how I ran my business. And that's how I ran kind of my life. And I really didn't know it until I looked back and was in a position where I could be like, how do I help other people with this knowledge?
So you were able to harness your knowledge. And sometimes it's so good to actually sit there and realize that we all have knowledge and specialties that is inherent, things that we've learned in our lives. But then finally to articulate it into a book that can actually help people, you manifested that, didn't you?
I did. I manifested it. It feels so cool to say because it was downloaded into my brain from the universe. I remember I left a sound bowl healing, a class. It was like a meditation.
Yeah.
And I was in the car and I said to my friend, I was like, you know what? And it was downloaded like the Corporate Hippie just came into my brain. And I'm like, that is like my book someday. And that was 5 years before it ever happened. And it really was just how do you meld the two worlds together, and really looking back and seeing what I was doing differently with my team versus what some of the more masculine and male dominated roles were doing. And I was hitting my number every quarter, every year for 23 years in sales, Kay. Like that's phenomenal. Right? So what is that secret sauce here, right? And so people used to start to ask me that. And once I was able to really get still enough during the pandemic, I was laid off a couple times because the universe is like, you're going to write this book. But so much it was about how does it, who's it supposed to resonate with? And so I just was able to be still, really tap into that, look at all my journals of things I'd written in the past and just put it all together and hope that it helped one person.
Oh my gosh. Well, the book came out, when did it hit Amazon?
March of 2021. Yeah, March of 2021.
Excellent timing. Well, there's a lot of fun chapters in here, and I want you to give us some insight on some of these. We can't cover everything today, but you guys, you can get the Corporate Hippie on Amazon. So I love the name of the first chapter. You can't make this shit up. So tell us about that.
Isn't that, I'm sure we've all had this, right? That the times where the synchronicities, the divine timing, something happening in our lives where you're like, literally like, how did this all come together, right? And again, when that happens, you're like, this is like, could be a movie. Like you almost couldn't write a movie. You can't make this shit up because no one would believe it.
Right.
How amazing the universe is and how it just conspires to bring the right person, place, job, angel, whatever. I just got goosebumps when I said that. If we really are able to allow all of that divine magic to flow to us, you just cannot believe what the universe will literally show you at your doorstep. Just, it will arrive. It will be so attracted to you that it can't help but help guide your destiny.
And it arrives when you're ready, I think. You know, it's funny, I
And it
wanted to
arrives
mention, we have a mutual friend, Linda Horioka, and she kept saying to me, gosh, you need to meet Kim, you need to meet Kim. And so she hooked us up, and I think that was kind of a divine connection. So I just wanted to say thank you to her on this interview.
Absolutely. And she said it again to me. I was at something like 3 weeks ago, and she was like, you need, like, she basically like, you need to reach out to Kay again. She's doing all this cool stuff. And I'm like, okay, all right, I'm going to do it again. And the timing was, again, perfect, as the universe always delivered. But, you know, the book, Can't Make This Shit Up. I mean, I talk a lot about signs, and some of what I love so much about charms and
Symbols.
Jewelry and symbols and bracelets. The hummingbird, which is, I know, something that you have on your sort of your charms, like the hummingbird wing.
Yes.
The first time I went to this beautiful retreat in called Miraval in Tucson.
I've been there.
Yeah, it's a hummingbird. When I first arrived, I was going through a divorce, and a hummingbird arrived to guide me on my journey of being at the retreat. And it was really like, I felt it was, you know, it's that deep kind of knowing that that animal, that sign, that symbol is there from God, from your angels. And it really, you just like, I feel like it's just such a cool thing for someone to be able to look at something that if they look at that, it reminds them of how powerful and how magical they are, is pretty incredible.
Well, that obviously I believe in that, because my whole series is called The Power of Charms. And I have a similar connection with the hummingbird, because when my father died, the hummingbird came and just looked at me in the window and just was flying and like telling me I was going to be okay.
Yeah.
So
it's incredible how those things, and again, signs have been part of this whole journey for me.
Right.
Feathers and
Butterflies.
You know, the butterflies and you know, hearts and all kinds of things. And again, it's when there's been a couple times when I'm specifically you can't make this shit up. Quick story. My boyfriend, I love my life. We were together a year. We broke up, and I was devastated. But for the first time, okay, I did not chase it. I did not force it. I allowed things to just flow. And I asked the universe, if we are going to be together, just stop this misery, stop this torture. If we're going to be together, please show me a sign. And the first thing that popped in my head was, show me a frog. Oh. And I don't know where that came from, right? So then I wake up the next morning, I was at the beach with my family, and my mom asked me to put on a specific movie, and I'm going to go down the beach, and a frog is full screen riveting on the TV. And I'm like, okay. So then like 3 days later, I'm in Neiman Marcus, and there's a huge ceramic frog with a crown on its head as I'm going up the escalator at Neiman Marcus. And I'm like, and I literally is like, you can't make this shit up. And it's almost gave me that comfort of, we're going to be together.
Yeah. Like the universe is telling you. And it's funny, because if you hadn't thought of show me a frog, you might've been going up that elevator and not seen the frog. It's all timing and it's all intuition, right? Intuition and manifesting.
It's all timing and intuition. And I think it's, you know, again, God, the universe, higher power, whatever someone feels comfortable saying. I think it's just letting us know how loved we are and that we hear you. We hear your prayers. We know the desires of your heart. And we might not always get exactly what we want or manifesting, but I do believe that we will get what is in our best and highest. And that once you actually do your manifesting, all of your steps, and then you have to surrender to what there might be a bigger plan that you don't know.
Sometimes it doesn't always make sense. What do you hope people get from your book? What's the one thing you want people to walk away from and go, wow, that was life-changing?
Of just how much they have the ability to change their life in an instant. In an instant. If you can get still and tap in to who you are and all of that God-given divine inner guru GPS, it will guide you on a path and to your answers that you literally almost can't believe. You can't make this shit up. You almost can't believe that it's real, that we have this much access to our path.
Yeah. You just have to have your eyes open. And you have 10 top tips for success too. So
I do.
help people actually do this and be a corporate hippie and open up their eyes and their minds and their hearts. I have a few favorites. May I share them? And then you can tell us a little bit more about it.
Yes, please.
Okay, so there's 10 top tips for success. So you have to read these. Here in chapter 8 of Kim's book. But number 1 is ask for the best and the highest for all people involved in any situation. That is magic. That is just so wonderful. And a credo that people should really live by, don't you think?
Yeah, I believe so, but it does take trust, right? And it takes practice getting here, because sometimes we think that something is happening to us, right? Or, I've been there, right? I'm human. We all have the victim moments where, nothing's going right, or something in our job or something in our relationship. And what we don't see sometimes, unless we can, I really believe, okay, zoom out. And if we can zoom out and understand that, it truly is all happening for our best and highest. And haven't you been in a situation where, you've really been in a bad time and you don't understand why all these things are happening? And then a year later, you're able to look back and you're able to see, wow, if this wouldn't have happened and this wouldn't have happened and this wouldn't have happened, I wouldn't have been able to do this, what I'm doing right now. It's like freaking, it is magic.
Right. Yeah. And there are a lot of instances in my life when I've been thinking back now, gosh, if this hadn't happened, I wouldn't have started this business. Or if this didn't happen, I wouldn't have gotten close with my family, even though it was a horrible thing that happened.
Right. And just like COVID,
Yeah.
Look at what it did for relationships, for people starting their own businesses, for people waking up to maybe they can live a different way. And I do believe that ultimately, if you can relax into the knowledge or the belief that what is meant for you is not going to pass you by, what is meant for you is yours, there's this way that you can just almost be like exhale into just trusting so deeply that what is truly meant for your destiny, it is yours.
I love it.
And it might not look exactly like what you think.
Right. Well, you've got a kind of a technique here that I really like. Get started with, this is number 5 of the 10. Get started with small, deliberate actions to manifest small goals, then adjust with the bigger goals and actions over time. Sometimes just the simple changes, just a shift can get you started in the right direction, right?
You have to, I think some people who you don't go from, I want to manifest $1 million if you don't believe in manifesting,
really?
Or if you haven't seen, if you haven't seen the power of it, or if you haven't kind of baby stepped into being a seeker, being a manifester, right? So to me, it's as simple as starting with, that parking place, right? I'm going to manifest a parking place out front, right? Thinking about a person and they call you the moment you're thinking about them, right? That's manifesting.
You bet it is.
Showing you how powerful you are. And so then you start to kind of build this trust. I just got an example from somebody that read my book on Monday. She shared the story with me. It's such a cool story because people kind of don't believe it unless they start, they really want to start testing it, Kay. They're like, okay, let's see what Kim says. All right, I'm going to try it. So she told me a story how she wanted to go on a hot air balloon ride. And she just for whatever reason, that was the sign she wanted. That a hot air balloon was something that she literally thought of as her sign. And she said, Kim, you can't make this shit up. A week later, her boyfriend gave her a card and there was a big picture of a hot air balloon. He was taking her on a hot air balloon ride for her birthday.
Oh my gosh. So
they've never talked about it.
They never talked about
it. This was a surprise. She didn't tell him So she was like, oh my gosh. And then another person who I was on a podcast with, relayed the story to me after because she didn't believe in manifesting. So we're on a podcast like this, we're on an interview. A week after I spoke with her, she said, you know what? I just want to manifest a free cup of coffee. And she said it like live on the air like this. A week later, she said, Kim, you're not going to effing believe it. She goes, I was at Starbucks and the person in front of me, I didn't even know it. They bought me my cup of coffee. And she was like, it was just so, again, it's those little things like that show you how powerful and magical you are and what you can tap into. We're limitless. Obviously, you see, I get very excited about it. We're limitless.
Right. Well, it's a concept that is big. It's a concept that I think there's symbols and signs all around us too. But one of the things you talk about is you have to kind of open your heart to be ready to receive that stuff, right? Or you can just, hummingbird will just fly by and you won't even notice it.
Yeah, if you're not tapped into the energy of that or to the gratitude or even just, again, how worthy you are, that's a big part of this, right? Your worthiness.
It is.
Well, what was it? Wait, was there one more that you said that you really liked?
It's kind of what we're talking about right now. It's raise your vibration. When you have a need or desire, or when you want to attract like-minded people to your team, to your goals, or to your life, raising your vibration is key. One of my favorite ways to raise my vibration is to actively step into being grateful. That's amazing.
It's so good. And other things to raise your vibration, right? We can all go down that path of negative self-talk, but the moment we can recognize it, and I say it out loud, I don't say it out loud anymore, but I say delete, delete, delete. When I recognize I'm a thought that I don't want to manifest, I say delete, delete, delete. And then I choose to right then and there to just raise my vibration, think about something else. But it's also as simple as walking out into nature, Kay. Calling your best friend on the phone, right? Dancing, even if it's, right now, like this is like, that's lifting my vibration, just right there, smiling at someone.
Right.
We don't even have to say a word, but we can be so heart to heart connected with somebody. And like, I just challenge people to just walking through a grocery store or somewhere, just start to notice smiling at people. We've been on masks for so long, but that simple kindness, it takes you from here to like another level of vibration. And that's when you can really start being a master of your vibration and your energy and your frequency. That's when you really start to manifest like in a quantum way.
Sounds like I need to start doing more of that, because I have all kinds of things I plan to do. And for you, okay, so this is your first book, right? And you've got these 10 amazing tips, but you told me that you have more tips. Like, you keep going. Are you going to do another book, or are you going to?
I think, I do feel another book coming. I'm not sure when it's going to come, because I feel like I birthed this baby, right? The Corporate Hippie. And now I really am trying to, I really want it to get some legs. And by you so graciously having me on your show, I feel like it's kind of starting to pick up momentum where people are starting to really feel this kind of movement, the corporate hippie movement that I'm talking about. But I do feel like part of it is really, utilizing, I utilize crystals a lot now. I love utilizing crystals. I love utilizing, I don't have it right here with me. I usually do. I have my angel spray that immediately lifts my vibration. So when I wake up in the morning, before I even get off my feet, I make sure I do gratitude, or I'm silent for a minute, or I ask for help from my angels, like whatever it is that day. I try to get super grounded, and then I spray angel spray all around me, or rose spray.
Yeah.
And that lifts your vibration. I do a little cleansing, like with some sage or some Palo Santo. And then I'm just very aware of my thoughts and movement. I think movement and being in nature, those are things that I've really added recently, that is just going and hugging a tree. I know that sounds kind of silly, like I'm a hippie, but literally touching earth, putting your hands in the ground, laying on the grass, looking up at this. I woke up at 5 o'clock in the morning Monday morning, 5 a.m. And I went out, Kay, and I just looked at the stars in the sky
Beautiful.
by myself.
Yeah.
I felt the most grounded I'd felt in a month.
Mm. I did that the other day. I'm in Arizona, so we don't always have grass. We just have our winter grass.
Or desert.
Right. But I was able to go out and just kind of stand there and put my feet in the grass. And it was just like, oh my God, it just totally changed my vibration. Just totally lifted it. So yeah. And there's the little things.
It does. And we can do it any moment in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like, let's just say you start out really good place and like you take a dip or you get bad news or something happens at your job or you get an order canceled or whatever it is, right? Your kids are sick. You can literally change your vibration like that by doing and stepping out your feet on the earth or just smiling almost internally for your own self-care, like almost giving yourself your own little hug. And sometimes I even imagine myself like in a bubble of pink light. And just thinking about that makes me happy.
I love it. So if people want more of Kim, which I know they're going to want more of Kim, you do consulting for businesses as well as being an author.
Yes.
And are you a speaker as well? Will you speak?
I am. I'm a speaker as well. I call myself like a transformational speaker, and I'm doing, I'm open to speaking anywhere, but I'm doing a lot of corporate, a lot of women's conferences, and a lot of sales teams and a lot of corporations who see that the shift is happening and that they have to kind of, really start bringing to the world and to their companies what teams want, what employees want, because when you do that, the money will come.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, and there's a big need. There's so many women's groups out there too with companies.
Yes.
Everybody's really focusing on that. So, well, if people want to get a hold of,
what about our kiddos?
Well, yeah.
Okay. What about like being able to what I think about so I have an 8 and 10-year-old bonus kid. If they absorb 15% or 10% of what I'm talking about right now, and they're able to tap into some of their magic at 10 and 12 and 8, I'm like, it could change. That's what's going to change the planet is right. The youth recognizing these tactics and these principles and these non-traditional methods.
Yeah, but I know I didn't grow up with that. So imagine starting that young and leading your life with those principles. It's going to produce some pretty amazing people.
Absolutely, with lots of symbols and charms and things that they need. But I think it's so cool what you're doing, and your charms are so beautiful. And the last one I want to say is the other favorite charm was I liked your peace sign.
Oh, yeah.
Because the peace sign makes me think of Corporate Hippie.
Absolutely.
It was in some, it was. So imagine it was some in my original designs kit I didn't go with, but I had the peace sign in the O's on the corporate.
Oh my gosh. Well, and so we could build you a whole bracelet with like a hummingbird wing, a butterfly, and a peace sign.
Let's do it. Oh my God. I mean, and you know what? When you wear stuff like that, you feel that lifts your vibration. Okay.
Yeah, it does, doesn't it? Yep. Having your
100
symbols all around you, I think is beautiful. I have a digital manager named Nicole Bolzani that works for me, and her favorite charm is the palm tree. And whenever she wears that, it makes her feel how lucky she is when she's living in the desert. She's sitting right there laughing at me.
I love that. And I think, just having women talk, is she right there? Hi. having women talk about, right, just again, these things that matter to us and that are heart driven. I'm just so excited for where the future's taking all of us on our own journeys, and how the spirit is connecting us all together with the right people that it's resonating with. And I think that is freaking amazing.
Well, I am super excited for my audience to meet you, and hopefully I'll meet your audience too. And then that's what it's all about. It's all about collaboration with other authors, speakers, women, people doing interesting things. And I think it's great. And I'm so honored to have had you on the show today. And I'm so excited about your book. And everybody,
thank you.
Go to thecorporatehippie.co for more information.
Yep.
And then you also
Yep.
have Manifest with Kim on Instagram.
Manifest with Kim on Instagram. And I will, if you sign up on my email list off my website, I will send everyone who signs up on my email list, I'll send you a free download about how to manifest the shit out of your life. It's a 5-page download steps to how you go through it. And so I would love for anybody to get that as my gift to you today. And I'm just so grateful. And I feel like I know you, and I feel like there's a connection, and it just makes me so happy.
Oh, well, it's great to meet you over Zoom, and I'll be coming out to California to see you and Linda soon.
Oh my gosh, I love it. I can't wait. We can toast.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Well, listen, Kim, you have a charming day. And it was great to talk to you, and everybody, again, the Corporate Hippie. Love it.
Thank you, Kay.
Thank you. Bye-bye.